What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So, today's video, I'm going to show you man the evidence and give you man some more insight to one of my last videos from a few days ago now. Essentially, a few days ago now, I broke the news that Sugar Smith, aka Sugar Hill, who used to be Tyson Fury's former trainer, has now been fired and they've since split. Tyson Fury is now in the UK without Sugar Hill, and he's now training with his dad, John Fury. Now, at the start of this video, I played you man the clip where John Fury says his son is with me now. His son's not in America anymore, playing with no goofy trainers and messing around, etc, etc. Me and my son are undefeated. Me and my son can never be beat. He's listening to me now, etc, etc. Now, for some of you dopey dons, that wasn't enough for you to take the signal and take the hint that Sugar Hill is not involved, because what we do know is John Fury didn't say my son's with me and Sugar Hill. He said my son's back with me now. He's not doing none of that fruitiness. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you some of the fruitiness that was going on under Sugar Hill. No doubt about that. And by the end of this video, there should be no doubt. And to be honest with you, it's a shame I even have to do this, because you man should be able to put the signs together yourselves. But I'm happy to spoon feed you and walk you through it. So essentially, this video will prove that Sugar Hill, Sugar Stewart, whatever his name is no longer working with Tyson Fury. So from the jump, I started this video off, with obviously John Fury telling you, man, what's gone on here. He's back with me now in the UK. But that, like I said, that didn't put this subject to rest for some of you dopey dons. But also, the second piece of evidence, I'm going to show you, man, his Instagram, Sugar Stewart's Instagram page. And what you'll notice is Sugar Stewart, Sugar Hill, whatever his name is, was posting a whole bunch of content about Tyson Fury. 15 weeks ago, iconic Vegas night, yeah? 11 weeks ago, Kronk Hill, work, yeah? So he's posting videos with Tyson Fury. But guess what? About 11 weeks ago, it goes silent. And all of his lovely social media full of Tyson Fury is. Can't get away from him. Yeah? Let's call a spade here. Sugar Smith could not get away from Tyson Fury. But he loved it. He stayed posting Tyson Fury 24/7, no doubt. But all of a sudden, ever since the pullout, more or less, your man Sugar Smith ain't been posting no videos. Now, is that a coincidence? I'm sure for some of you, man, it will be. Oh, but why be? The fact that John Fury's all... what more do you, man, need to see? We've heard from John Fury saying that he's training with me now. There can't be 3-4 different trainers in the camp. Now we've seen there ain't no evidence. And if you disagree, show me the evidence of Sugar Smith training with Tyson Fury, because that's another thing. I've seen videos of Tyson Fury training. Guess what? No Sugar Smith. No Sugar Hill. He gone. I told you before. Sugar Smith, from what I understand now, from what I've heard, from my leaked sources, Sugar Smith may be retained to be Tyson Fury's USA coach, on the basis that John Fury can't get into the USA. But apart from that, from what I understand, that's his role now. Yeah? Tyson Fury for this camp is going to be with John Fury. Now, I can't lie to you, man. I'm not even sure this fight's going to happen in October, but for this video, the point is, everyone now needs to understand Sugar Smith, Sugar Hill, is no longer in the camp. He's been cast out. Now, this part of the video, I'm going to show you why he was cast out. I did spend quite a lot of time explaining why, but on your screen, throughout this video, you've seen particular footage. Now, that footage involves Tyson Fury, and guess what? It involves Tyson Fury and his goofy man's Sugar Hill. Now, you see Tyson Fury bouncing off the walls, on the tables, doing all sorts. And guess who's doing it right alongside him? Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill's a 50-year-old man. He's meant to be representing the Kronk. He's meant to be representing his uncle's great legacy that's been built. Instead, he goofy. Instead, he's letting the fame and the money and whatever else go right to his head, and he's acting like an idiot. Show me a video of Cus D'Amato or Teddy Atlas or Kevin Rooney doing this kind of stuff, fraternising with the troops, just being too fruity. Show me a video or a picture of Teddy Atlas with his shirt unbuttoned, or Cus D'Amato with his shirt unbuttoned and with matching shirts on with his fighter and doing all this extra stuff. Show me it. Oops, there ain't none. Why? Because Hall of Fame trainers are disciplined. Because if you can't yourself remain disciplined, how are you meant to inspire anyone else to remain disciplined? And what we know is what Tyson Fury has always been a volatile character. He performs best when there's an opposing force, when he's being managed by an opposing force. Think of the figures in his life. Peter Fury. He was very disciplined under Peter Fury. That's how Tyson Fury performs well. He doesn't perform well under people like Ben Davison, who, much like Sugar Hill, just a bit brand new. Yeah? Ben Davison was brand new. He ain't got no class like that. He don't know how to inspire people to do great performances. Now, to be fair to Sugar Hill, at one point in time, initially, before all the fame and bright lights got to his head, he did inspire Tyson Fury, but that really, if you understand what's gone on here, if you understand the history, that really tells you all you need to know about what happened to this situation. Initially, before all the lights and whistles, Sugar Hill was just another man carrying on his great uncle's legacy. Emmanuel Stewart's legacy at the Kronk Gym. Tyson Fury comes along. And again, initially, it takes time for fame and money and lights to essentially corrupt you. In them initial weeks, Tyson Fury, when he first got with the Kronk Gym and Sugar Hill, they weren't together for long. It was rapid, which, from what we understand now, or from what we know now, that was beneficial because Sugar Hill didn't have time to fall off the bandwagon and lose his head and end up all in the video like P. Diddy, no doubt. Because then I remember when Fury fought Wilder the second time in February 2020, one of the big narratives was, Fury's got a new trainer. I can't believe how good Fury did with a new trainer. They only worked together for, I think, 6, 5, 8 weeks or something like that. In that time, like I said, that wasn't enough time for Sugar Hill to fall off the bandwagon and get gassed off his head and end up fraternising with the troops and acting goofy and falling off that inspirational level. And if you watch my reaction videos to that Tyson Fury performance, I actually gave Sugar Hill a massive rating. I said that, listen, Sugar Hill has been able to really get behind Tyson Fury's psyche and inspire him to a performance that was, for me, was one of the great performances in recent boxing history. Because to take Tyson Fury from where he was, running around the place with Ben Davison, all the way scary, and even though Tyson Fury doesn't have the best genetics and the best ability in terms of his chin, in terms of his power, so to psychologically get behind the wall, get behind the psyche of Tyson Fury and uplift him and inspire him to that kind of performance, that for me was the sign of great qualities within a trainer. However, unfortunately, it was short-lasted because over the last 2 years since that, or over the last 18 months since that performance, we've seen slowly but surely Sugar Hill and his principles have disintegrated. And now, over the time, Tyson Fury, that perch that Sugar Hill used to be on, that when in them first 8 weeks, when Tyson Fury was with the Kronk Gym and with Sugar Hill, Fury was very inspired. Don't forget, the key reason Tyson Fury even went to the Kronk Gym was because of, number one, Tyson Fury's long history, or relatively long history, with Emmanuel Stewart. And also, so he's kind of going back to his roots a little bit, but also because of the famed Kronk Gym style. When Tyson Fury first got there, all he kept talking about, the Kronk style. I've come here to firm up my performances. That's the pedestal he put the Kronk Gym and Sugar Hill on initially. There was a clear pedestal. A clear me and you. I'm looking up kind of thing. Tyson Fury was looking up to Sugar Hill. That's the bottom line here. Unfortunately, Sugar Hill took that responsibility and I don't know what he did with it. All we know now is, after 2 years of all them principles and all of that, that relationship has completely changed now. Now it's all about fraternization. Now it's all about partying and acting a fool. Because like I said, you've seen the video. You got Sugar Hill, the man who is supposed to be inspiring Tyson Fury to great performances. Now, Tyson Fury looks at him like one of his mates. And that's why the Ben Davison relationship fell apart, ultimately. Fury don't perform well when he's there being led by his mates. And that's not really a knock against Ben Davison. That's the case for most athletes. Most athletes need to have that clear barrier, especially in boxing. You show me a video of Alex Ferguson, all in the... You know what I mean? Show me it. I'll tell you what to do. All of you goofy people, show me a video of Alex Ferguson bouncing on the tables with whoever. I'm not a big football guy, but show me it. Show me the video of Alex Ferguson, you know what I'm saying, in the club or in the hotel room acting a fool. Show me the video of Alex Ferguson with matching shirts on with his team. You ain't going to see that. Because great leaders, same as military generals, and we're talking football here, that's just football in my opinion. There's obviously levels to leadership, but war is the ultimate. But below that is boxing. Boxing's the next best thing to war. When you're leading someone into war, you need that, I'm not sure what you'd call it, but you need that, whatever it is. Whatever I'm describing here about the differential between leadership and those being led, it must be there. And historically speaking, this is a well-known fact. It's always been known. You can't be fraternising with the troops. Can't do it. So when it comes to going into battle, it's no good having if people aren't gonna listen to your orders or be inspired to follow you in, they start thinking, well, they start seeing you all on the same level together. It's no good. You can't give orders. People are less likely to follow instructions. People need to be inspired. Initially, Tyson Fury was inspired. Now, he sees Sugar Hill, as one of his mates, one of his party mates. Whose fault's that? Sugar Hill's. Sugar Hill, like I said, saw the bright lights, saw the partying, saw the women, saw the whatever else, money, whatever you want to call it. And over time, he forgot his role. He forgot who he really was. Because before Tyson Fury, he was just another trainer in a boxing gym. Never. Show me videos before Tyson Fury of this man jumping on a table. I bet you any money, yeah? 2 years ago, if I'd have told Sugar Hill a year from now, there'll be videos of you bouncing on a table in a hotel room and wearing matching shirts, he'd have laughed at me and said, get serious. But this, unfortunately, is the reality. And it's actually this will go down in history as one of the examples of what fame and money can truly do. Just gets you completely out of your head. This 50-year-old man, look how he's acting. Shocking. And in my opinion, his uncle, Manny Stewart, will be turning in his grave at what's happened here over the last year or two. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of casual boxing fans who say, oh, but YB, he's just having a good time and come on, he's just trying to be one of the lads. That's the problem here. That's what some of you dopey casual dons don't get. Being one of the lads, unfortunately, isn't one of the requirements to being a great trainer. And especially when you're dealing with a highly emotionally volatile fighter like Tyson Fury. He ain't the most stable himself. The last thing he needs, think about it, of all the influences Tyson Fury may need around him, the qualities you've seen recently from Sugar Hill, do you think those are the ones Fury really needs the most? I don't think so. I don't think Fury needs another idiot on his camp, in his team, acting a fool. Never mind the man who's meant to head the whole camp up. Do you understand that? This wasn't YB, it's one of his sparring partners. This is the head guy, the head trainer. And he's trying to be all with the troops, all partying with the troops and acting a fool. And in fact, to add insult to injury, if you actually watch Sugar Hill's actions carefully, He's almost a ringleader. He's almost trying to do the most audacious acts. If you watch him carefully, whenever the camera goes on him, he almost starts trying to do even goofier stuff, which just shows how lost he is. And he actually not actually think, it's a fact. The facts are, this is the right thing to do. Tyson Fury has left him. Tyson Fury has left Goofy Sugar Hill in the USA, and rightfully so. And hopefully Sugar Hill will learn a valuable lesson here. Because Tyson Fury and Sugar Hill could have maintained a relationship for, who knows, 10 years. Could have done. But instead, you wanted to be Mr. I don't know what it is, Mr. Life of the Party, when you were supposed to be an inspiring boxing trainer, a head boxing trainer. Because, like I've explained, when you're going into battle, especially someone like Tyson Fury, who there's already rumours that Tyson Fury is scared to go in there with Deontay Wilder. I mean, even look at John Fury. John Fury's been saying things like, oh, we don't want to go in there unless we're A-OK, and oh, we need to be 100%, and we need to make sure our camp's right, and my son's back now, so he's going to get it all right. So I don't care what no one says. Number one, the fact there's been loads of Tyson Fury pullouts. Number two, the fact that Tyson Fury made Wilder take him to court. Number three, the fact that John Fury is so nervous. There's clearly anxiety around this Deontay Wilder fight. So, if you're going into your most anxious fight, your first rematch, and it's all, don't forget, Tyson Fury's been inactive for 18 months. All of a sudden, and another thing you got to remember, Tyson Fury is used to fighting warm-up fights. He doesn't just go into big fights. But for the first time in his career, he's going from a 2-year layoff straight into a relatively hard fight. Plus all the other things I've mentioned about the first rematch and everything else, and John Fury's anxiety. So the reason Tyson Fury has left Sugar Hill is because he's got all this going on, all of these outside factors, and at this point in time, what does he need? This is where he needs a leader to get his head back in the game. But what's happened? Where's his leader gone? Oops. Sugar Hill, what, missed the dance on the tables? And now I'm sure there'll be casual fans out there who say, oh, but YB, he's only having fun. I'm sure he can switch it on and off. That's not how it works. Again, if it was the case, that great generals could just switch it on and off, and why would it be a historic military principle of not fraternising with troops? Isn't it? If it was possible just to be best friends with all, you know what I'm saying? If it was best just to be super goofy, why have we not heard about all these great generals who led their troops to these great victories, and they were able to do so by being super fruity in between? There's a reason for that. There's a reason. In fact, there's a reason I know it. There's a reason everyone knows it can't be done. Because you undermine, no matter what way you look at it, you undermine your position. People have to look up to leadership like they are special. Otherwise, you kind of think to yourself, wait a minute, my man's telling me to go down there to my death. Who's he to tell me that, innit? That's the bottom line. Who is he to tell me anything? That's the ultimate question. But most importantly, who is he to tell me to go down there to my death? If you're not, like no one says, if you're not inspired, the troops ain't gonna go through with it. Now, obviously, boxing's not as serious as that, but it's the same principle. If Tyson Fury is going to get over his fear of fighting Wilder again, and get over his fear of his first rematch, and get over his fear of whatever else is going on, he's going to need someone in that position. Someone who was actually in a similar position in the first fight, or the second Wilder fight. Because when you look at, that's why I gave Sugar Hill so much props after that fight. I said, wow, whatever Sugar Hill's done, it wasn't just a physical performance. Psychologically, whatever Sugar Hill did, that was a great performance for Fury. Because they didn't even have no warm-up fights. They went straight from running around with Ben Davidson, running backwards all night, nicking points, to marching forward. That was hats off performance. But unfortunately, what's happened since, clearly, Tyson Fury ain't feeling that same way he was. How do we know this? Sugar Hill's been fired. That's how we know this. Tyson Fury's gone back to stability. He's gone back to his dad. Because one thing we know about John Fury is, no matter what we say about him, I don't believe he'll be fraternising with the troops, to be fair. And I think that's why Tyson Fury's gone back to his dad. Because he's out here trying to find where the stability is. Where do I know there's a half decent leader? Oh, my dad will do. Yeah? I've got this Wilder fight, it must happen. I need to find some stability now. I need to find someone who can lead me to a victory here. Can Sugar Hill, Mr. Dancing on the Tables, lead me? Don't think so. See you later, you're back on the sideline. I don't care what no one says, that is exactly what's happened here. And if you disagree, tell me where all the pictures have gone then. Sugar Hill was posting a picture of training or posting a picture of in the shirts all the time. Why has there been no pictures in 11 weeks? Oops. Because they ain't training together no more. And from what I'm understanding now, Tyson Fury had stopped training long before the announcement came out of C19. I'm not even sure he ever was training, to be fair. Him and Sugar Hill fell out, which explains why it's been 11 weeks since he's posted any pictures. No doubt. But anyway, listen. Sugar Hill's been sacked. There's no doubt about that. Essentially, the video you've seen of them dancing around, that sums up why he was sacked. 100%. He was sacked for being a muppet. And he's got no one to blame but himself. He could have had a long storied career with Tyson Fury. Now he'll be relegated to the USA bucket holder when John Fury ain't there. Now I'm not sure how long John Fury and Tyson Fury will last together, to be fair, but either way, Sugar Hill's down bad. And by the way, if anyone disagrees with me, just answer the question. Why did Tyson Fury leave the US for and come back to the UK? Doesn't make sense. Oh, but he had C19, so isn't that a reason not to travel? Never made any sense. Unless what I'm saying is true, and that his relationship with trainers in the US, fell apart, and he had to go and find some sort of stability somewhere. Because he didn't have a gym, and if you take what I'm saying is correct, that he's essentially sacked or fell out with Sugar Hill, where would he have to? He doesn't have a gym in the US, does he? Without Sugar Hill. So you telling me it's a coincidence Tyson Fury, even despite having a date booked, suddenly decided for the first time in his life to adjust his camp back to the UK. Sorry, for the first time in how many years? Fury's been fighting and training in the US for years. Is it a coincidence? The first time he's training back in the UK again for the first time in years. Oh, and Sugar Hill's nowhere to be found. Fair enough. If Sugar Hill was still posting pictures and, oh, I'm in the UK to train, fine. But he ain't there. And if you disagree, show me some evidence to the contrary. Because I've shown you all the evidence that he's been sacked. No doubt.